it's Rachel here. This week I'm back with a video that you guys have been requesting forever. We are talking about how to make an acting resume. I'm on Skype with Julia right now. She says hi. Alright, so first we're going to talk about how to generally format an acting resume, and then we'll talk about what you can add to your resume to make it all fancy and all your own, and the different options you have and stuff. Okay, so the purpose of an acting resume in general for an actor is to tell those that are looking at it, like agents and casting directors, the jobs and training you have related to acting so that they know what you've done. It's not about bragging and flaunting about certain jobs that you've done, certain jobs. Do not lie on your resume, because somewhere down the line somebody will figure it out and you'll just get yourself into a lot more trouble than you need to be in. Alright, so for this video I have parts on my computer where I was formatting a resume. And I also have a sample resume to show you of Sally Scrubby, which I completely made up all of the things on here, and she's a little brat because she thinks that she's a famous actress. So yeah, we're just gonna do this now. Let's get started. Alright, so first of all, do not write resume at the top of your resume. I know it seems like you should do that because of school, but you don't want it to be like a school paper, so do not write resume at the top. And as you're listing different things on your resume, make sure that you list the most current things on the top. So like the most recent film gig that you did, you would put that at the top rather than putting it at the bottom. Even though you would think that you would put it at the bottom because of chronological order or whatever, you would put it at the top so the casting director sees that and it's like, hey, they just did that. Alright, so at the very top of your resume should be your name. You can make it bold. I always make mine really big font. Next below that, you're gonna have your acting union if you're with one, or just say non-union, and then your phone number, and then your email or website so that they can contact you. Something very important to remember is to not put your address on your resume. I know you never know down the line who's gonna get a hold of your resume and find out where you live. So don't put your address. That's a no-no. Alright, so down below, all that really important stuff. So your resume would be different on some level if you were with an agency, and all the information that you were putting on your resume had to be contact information for your agent and stuff, but we're just talking about for you. So down below you might have some information about your agency, or you might fill it in where you put your phone number and your email address. But yeah, so this one's just for you. Okay, so next down below, I like to put in a little box all of this little information group together. So this is basically all of your stats. So first we have height, then weight. You do not have to put your weight if you don't want to. But you can just give your dress size if you're a woman, or your jacket size if you're a man, because that'll give an idea of your body proportions. Which leads on to the next thing, which is age/type. So again, don't have to put your age, but I always have just because I'm a teen. But yeah, if you don't put your age, you can put your type, and then you're gonna put your eyes, then below that your hair, and then below that, if you sing, you can put your vocal range. Yeah, ha. Alright, so now let's talk about listing your credits. Ooh. So there is 4 main sections of your credits to pay attention to. Now everybody has different acting experience, but the 4 main sections are film, television, commercials, and theater. Now you may have like a music video that you've done, or a web series or something like that. So I mean, your sections might be a bit different, but today we're just talking about the 4 main sections. So if you're making a resume because you're interested in theater, say you live out in New York or something like that, you would probably put your theater experience first, but the resume we are making today is for a film actor. So first you want to list your film experience. So on the very left, you'd put the name of the film. In the middle, the type of role, like lead, supporting, featuring, and you can also put the name of the character if you want. I always do that. And then the production company or the director of the film is on the very right. Again, make sure the most current work is on the very top. Next is television. So the listing is pretty similar to film. You're gonna start off with the name on the show on the very left. Then in the middle is the type of role and also your character, like I said, if you want to. Then on the very right, instead of the production company, you're gonna put the television network. Sally's got some good credits, you know. Next would be commercials. Now, commercials are tricky because there's a lot of competition that involve commercials. Like, you don't automatically want to not book a role or get an audition for a commercial if you're competition. Like, say you already did a Trident commercial. girl. But then Stride is like wanting you to like audition for their commercial and stuff. But then they're gonna look at your resume if you have your commercials listed, and they're gonna be like, girl, she already did Trident, so they're not gonna book you. So what you're gonna put for commercials is on camera / voiceover experience if you have either of those two. And then you're gonna put list available upon request, so they can ask if they want to for your commercial credit. And lastly, for your credits, we have moved on to theater. Yeah. So for theater, you're gonna put the name of the show. In the middle, again, type of character, supporting lead, whatever, and your name of character if you want. And then the theater it was put on by. Now, a lot of people say do not put community theater, do not put school theater on your resume because it's not professional. Yeah, it's not technically considered professional theater, but like for actors in school, like I am, all of the theater experience that I have is at my school. And it is better than nothing if you show them that you've done a show versus you haven't done a show. It's kind of debatable. Obviously, I would say that you should put it, but people might have different opinions. But I'd say it's better than nothing if you got some community theater to put on there. Alright, so now that we got all your credits on there, it's time for training. So the training section of your resume is very, very, very important. It's also the easiest section of your resume to build up because you can always go to another class or another acting workshop to get more training on your resume. And a lot of casting directors and agents actually see training just as important as credits. So yeah, take advantage of that. Go to classes and learn your craft, girl. So the most important things when listing your training is what the class was for. So like an improv class or a scene study or something like that, and who led the class. But you can also put the name of the class if you would like on the very left, which I did there. So lastly on your resume is your special skills. So the special skills section on your resume is where you list all your talents. So this includes like instruments, sports, languages you speak, accents, stuff like that. Just make sure that you can actually do those things. Like, don't just put a bunch of stuff because you want to look impressive. I went to an acting workshop once and this girl was up there and the casting director was looking at her resume, and on her resume she said, oh, I can sing, I can dance, I can do blah blah blah, all like the general things that everybody wants to be able to do. But when he asked her to sing, she says, oh, sorry, I don't really sing. And then she said that she just likes dancing for fun. The casting director kind of gave her a hard time about that because if you really can't do it or you're not confident with it, then you should not put it on your special skills, because you might get booked for a job last minute or something and show up on set and they'll want you to do that thing like right away. And if you sit there and you say, I can't really do it, they'll kick you off the set potentially because you're not being honest in what you say you can do. So just make sure that your special skills are stuff that you can do. So like Sally, she says that she can play the French horn, she said that she can do soccer, gymnastics, she's fluent in Spanish, and she plays the violin. Wow, good old Sally. Alright, so once you have everything listed, this is the fun part, just to use your creativity. Just play around with your resume if you want. Change the font size, change the actual font. There's no like specific font that your resume has to be. So just make it so it looks like how you want it. You know, you can center the font, you can put it on the side, whatever you want. Also even add a picture if you want. It's kind of just like a marketing tool on your resume. It shows what you look like. So yeah, I think that about wraps it up, how to make your own resume. But also another way that you can make a resume is you can find templates online, or you can look up on Google Images acting resumes and get some ideas about what people are doing with fonts and pictures and stuff like that. If I find any good templates, I will put them in the description bar below, so look down there just in case if you are just wanting a template and not wanting to do all this hard stuff. But I thought this is good to make. I always make my resumes from scratch just because I think you have a lot more creativity when you do it your own. And you can really mess around with it instead of having like limitations on where to put stuff. So just a couple ending points, just some extra things about resumes that you should be aware of. So to print your resume, you can just print it on any kind of paper that you think is flattering. I always just do white. I don't know if that's boring. I don't know if anybody else does any other color. But just do a nice paper. Don't do like bright blue or pink or anything like that. And copies, very nice copies, can be made very cheap at your local office supply store. It always looks nicer if you do that rather than printing it out yourself. So when you're presenting somebody with your headshot and resume, you want to cut the resume down to the size of your headshot and staple it on all four corners back to back. And also something very, very ridiculously important is to remember to always keep your resume updated. I mean, why wouldn't you want to keep it updated? Like if you got another job, why not just put it on there? But the most important reason to keep it updated is for like the stats, like your height and your weight and your age and stuff like that. You always want to keep that updated. So yeah, I think that's about it. So I hope that this helped all of you out that have been requesting this video. I've been wanting to make this video for a while. Sorry, I'm just now getting to filming it. But I hope you guys enjoyed. If you did, give it a big old thumbs up for me down below. Also in the comment section, leave me a video request that you would like me to film in the future. Or any questions. Don't hesitate to leave them down below. I'm happy to answer. Subscribe for weekly acting videos and follow me on Twitter if you want. It'll be in the description. So thank you guys so much for watching. I love you guys, and I will see you in my next video. Bye! Bye!